Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, an Edna murder suspect is set for a pretrial hearing in a case that shocked a local small town. And Victoria College is adopting a new tax rate, what changes property owners can expect. Plus, a shooting in Austin leaves 3 people dead. The details, that's coming up.
And it's still hot out there, y'all, but that summer heat is going to be ramping up over the next few days with triple digits possible for the first day of school. And we got rain this weekend, and we're still tracking the tropics. All that in the weather coming up.
And the Placer Sharks look to reach the playoffs for the 2025 season. We'll highlight how Sharks are going to do later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. It's the first day of school eve.
School eve, that's right. It's the last day, the last morning, free morning before school starts.
That's right. So we've got to get back on that routine and make sure we are turning the cell phones off.
That's right.
Until the school day is over. That's a brand new statewide policy for public school districts all over Texas.
That's right. We can actually find out more on that on our website, crossroadstoday.com, where we are streaming 24/7. In fact, if you're tuning in with us on our 24 streaming site, you're looking at a beautiful sunrise this morning in Victoria. Look at all the pretty pink and the blue, purple in the sky. And if you're going to go see that sunrise this morning, not too bad of a temperature, 74, but of course it's humid, being on South Texas on the coast. Dew point 73, a degree off, bringing humidity to that high 97%, which is technically enough to see fog, but we're not going to see any of that this morning because of our buoyant air mass on top of us, where the air is rising because of our mid-level low pressure system sitting right on top of us and dissipating. But the humidity is so high right now, you can actually see it on radar. This beam, it looks like it's sprinkling. This is the radar beam being refracted towards the ground because of the humidity in the air. But it's going to stay humid this afternoon, and it'll stay hot because looking at your satellite, you can see South Texas. It's going to be real sunny out there today. Maybe just a few passing clouds. North Texas, they got some rain going on up there, and some of that might enter our northern counties. We'll look at those rain chances later, because if you're headed at the door for your Tuesday, looking at another hot one, heat indices possibly in the 100 teens and spotty showers. We'll have those details coming up next.
Pretrial hearings are scheduled later this week for the suspect in the murder of an Edna cheerleader. Romero is accused in the death of 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina. Lisbeth was an Edna cheerleader who was scheduled to march in a Christmas parade 2.5 years ago, but she never showed up. Her mother found her stabbed to death in her bathtub. Authorities were able to track her cell phone to Schulenburg, where they found Rafael Romero with several of Lisbeth's belongings. Romero is indicted on a charge of capital murder, but the district attorney's office is not seeking the death penalty. A jury trial is scheduled in October. A cash reward is being offered in the case of a Seadrift woman's disappearance 7 years ago. Calhoun County Crime Stoppers is offering up to $1,000 for information on the case of Susie Escobedo. She was 25 when she disappeared in August 2018, leaving behind her 4-month-old daughter, her vehicle, and her phone. Authorities say years of searching have turned up no new leads, but they believe someone out there knows what happened. You can provide tips and stay anonymous by calling 361-552-CASH. VC trustees approved the college's operating budget and set the property tax rate at a special meeting Monday afternoon. The board adopted a property tax rate increase from 17.09 cents to 18.32 cents per $100 of taxable value. Based on the Victoria Central Appraisal District's certified property tax values for 2025, a homeowner with a $100,000 home in the college's taxing district will pay $183.20 before exemptions. Recent board workshops included discussions focused on significant challenges to the upcoming year's operating budget, including a tuition and fee freeze set by the governor, an 8% increase in health insurance premiums, and a reduction in state formula funding. President Donald Trump said Monday morning he is federalizing the D.C. police and deploying the National Guard to the nation's capital as part of a crime-fighting effort. The president announced he is invoking the District of Columbia Home Rule Act to place the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. He also ordered the National Guard to deploy to the nation's capital to combat what he says was a wave of lawlessness, despite statistics showing violent crime hit a 30-year low in 2024. The suspect of a deadly shooting at a big box retailer is now in custody. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley with the latest.
Police are investigating a shooting outside this Target in North Austin, Texas that left 3 people dead, including a child.
When officers arrived, they were met with 3 people that were shot inside the parking lot of Target.
I heard 2 gunshots. I ran towards the front to see what was going on, and then I saw everyone scattering towards the back, towards the exit. I was just in a panic mode, just running for my life.
The suspect, identified as a 32-year-old man with mental health issues, stole a car from the Target parking lot and fled the scene. The owner of that car among those killed.
The suspect is armed and has shot multiple people.
The suspect later crashing the stolen vehicle in an office parking lot before stealing another car from a Volkswagen dealership. Police reportedly losing track of the suspect until a bystander on the other side of the city called police for help.
I believe it was a call for service. I believe the subject got out of the car, another person called, but officers responded quickly and an apprehension was made.
This is the latest case of a suspect in a high-profile case reportedly coping with mental health issues. Bradford Gilly was arrested last month after police say he stabbed 11 people at a Walmart in Michigan. His family revealing he'd been struggling with mental illness since age 15. And 2 days later in New York, Shane Tamura killed 4 people inside an office building that houses NFL headquarters. Sources say he'd been treated for depression and had twice been held involuntarily for mental health reasons. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
President Trump has agreed to once again delay the deadline for China's tariffs by another 90 days. The president signed the executive order Monday, just hours before the pause on the tariffs was set to expire. If the deadline had not been extended, U.S. duties on China's goods would have snapped back to triple-digit rates announced in April. The new deadline is now set for November 10th. The administration continues to hold ongoing negotiations with China, the world's second-largest economy. A local radio legend is being inducted into the 2025 Texas Radio Hall of Fame. Steve Kaufman, known as the godfather of Texas music, made a lasting mark in Hallettsville and Victoria. In 1993, he brought his Texas Mix format to a network of stations in Hallettsville before moving to Victoria in 1999. He became known as the voice of Victoria, sharing his love of Texas music and rallying the community for countless causes. He died in 2006 after a battle with cancer. Kaufman is one of 20 broadcasters who will be honored at the induction ceremony on November 1st. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's 6:38 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Local cattle experts are on high alert for a creeping threat crossing from Mexico.
President Trump deploys the National Guard to crack down on crime in the nation's capital. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and why critics accuse the president of overstepping.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say we have another chance for rain maybe for today. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think that rain might get here. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. For your weather today, it's going to be another hot one out there, and actually weather's going to be quite similar to yesterday, Monday, so I hope you all are getting acclimated to the heat, because looking at yesterday's max reported temps, 97 was officially reported out at the airport, which is technically just outside district city limits. Inside city limits, multiple gauges reported 98 in Victoria, so it was a hot one. 98 reported in Cuero, 100 in Nixon and Carson City, 99 in Port Lavaca yesterday. And anything you see on here, add about 1 degree to those to get today's temperatures, because looking at your future tracker, it's going to be another sunny day. So y'all make sure to bring your sunglasses, pack those for today. And also maybe I'm going to let y'all decide if you want to pack an umbrella or not, because chances for rain are going to be at 20% today. Yesterday they were at 30%. Didn't really see too much activity happen, so going to look pretty similar to yesterday. 20% chance to maybe see a few spotty showers form around our counties, and it's going to go for all counties today and not just Highway 59 counties to the south. Then it's going to be after 1 or 2 p.m. We'll see just a few spotty showers popping up around the area before that clears up, and we're looking mostly clear for overnight tonight, and that'll happen at around 5 or 6. You can see everybody else, it's going to be mostly sunny if you don't see the rain, and that's going to heat us up to about 98 here in Victoria again, just like yesterday, maybe even 99, which is 2 to 3 degrees above where we're supposed to be looking at your almanac on this time of year. But we're going to get even hotter over the next few days. If we don't hit 100 today, we might very well on Thursday. And if you're not a fan of the heat, we've got better rain chances this weekend. We'll look at that in the tropics coming up next.
Happy Tuesday morning here, Crossroads, and we're officially just 2 weeks away from the beginning of football season. I can't believe it, and we're going to have the first scrimmages starting here this Friday, and we're going to have 4 today, just one preview that we're going to look at here out there in Matagorda County with the Palacios Sharks, who last year in 3A Division I, they went 4-6 overall and 3-4 in district, and they only needed one more win to make the playoffs there for the Sharks. And they're going to bring back, though, top defensive back in Trey Wexelman. They're also going to operate out of the spread offense under new head coach there in Travis Hoffer. They're going to utilize an odd front on the defensive side as well. And Hoffer's trying to get Palacios to try to get their first winning season and reach the playoffs since 2020, and he hopes to do that by creating a new culture, sustain there for a long time.
That we want to make the most competitive products possible. We break out to expect to win. Kids clap, we will win. That's the expectation. We want to win, right? We're going to take care of the little things to get those and earn those wins, but we're here and we're committed to the process, and we want to continue to drive it.
Now, Hoffer hopes with these big-time facilities, as you see there from their weight room and also from their field as well and other facilities, they can kind of translate to kind of get those big production wins going into the season for the football squad. And they're going to open up. It's going to be a tough challenge there in Week 1 at Tidehaven on August 29th there at 7:30 p.m. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. We're learning more about the president's plans to crack down on crime. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, President Trump ordering hundreds of National Guardsmen to take over policing in Washington, D.C., saying we could see them flow through the streets of D.C. in the coming weeks.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse.
President Trump declaring a public safety emergency in Washington, D.C., saying crime is spiraling out of control. But his depiction stands in stark contrast to the official figures, which show crime in the capital is actually in decline. Violent crime recently hitting a 30-year low, down 26% since last year. Burglary down 19%, murder down 12%.
I think my first reaction was that I've seen this movie before. I think that this is an unnecessary show of force in search of a problem. Crime is down in D.C. by double digits.
Trump has the power to deploy federal agents in Washington, D.C. for an emergency, but experts say Congress would need to approve any federal control of the district beyond 30 days. Meanwhile, across D.C., peaceful protesters were seen holding banners that read national disgrace, others chanting Trump must go now.
It's very hard to see this city being captured by Donald Trump and making everybody live in fear. I don't approve of it.
And this morning, Trump is threatening similar deployment in other cities, saying the model in the nation's capital could be used to combat crime in cities like Chicago, Oakland, and Baltimore, all cities notably in Democratic-led states.
We're not going to lose our cities over this, and this will go further.
Now, 2 Democratic lawmakers say they plan to reintroduce legislation that would grant D.C. full control over their National Guard and police departments. They plan to bring the legislation up when Congress reconvenes in September. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you agree with the president's deployment of the National Guard in Washington, D.C.? 60% of you say yes, and 40% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Local cattle experts are watching out for a threat sneaking up from Mexico, the New World screwworm. This insect lays eggs in open wounds, eyes, and nostrils, mostly in cows and calves. But pets and even people can be at risk. Livestock can die within just 3 days of exposure. Right now, the southern border is closed to cattle trade while the USDA rolls out a 5-step plan to tackle the problem. New World screwworm was wiped out in the U.S. back in the 1960s, and officials are working hard to make sure it doesn't return. The time is now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A mail carrier linked to a series of thefts involving valuable items and unexpected luxury. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Taylor. Hope you have a fantastic 12th birthday. We love you. Mom, Dad, Jenna, and your favorite cats, Pickles and Oreo, love you too.
Oh, happy birthday, Taylor. And also happy birthday to Ryan. A big happy 40th birthday. Hope you have an amazing day today. Lots of love from Aaron, Mackenzie, Madison, Aubrey, Mom, and Jerry.
Happy birthday to Laura and Ruben. Happy birthday. What a blessing to share a birthday together as grandmother and grandson.
Oh, happy birthday. And Oscar-winning actor Casey Affleck with a birthday today. He's turning 50. Happy birthday, Casey. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:47 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday to Bernie, and happy birthday to you if you're celebrating one today.
Oh, happy birthday, Bernie, and happy birthday if you're celebrating. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw this 7-day forecast a few moments ago, or you heard me talking about it. The rain chances, they're coming back this weekend. They're up to a nice 40% for both Friday and Saturday for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And look at that. It's going to keep our temperatures, I'm thinking, in the cooler, nicer mid-90s. It's better than the upper 90s and low 100s is what I'm trying to say, because that's where we're going to be for the next few days. So y'all please stay acclimated and stay safe in the heat. But the rain that's coming this weekend, it's actually going to be coming from the tropics. And we're going to look at what it is here in just a second, because I want to show you the big tropical outlook first. The big picture. You can see we have a few new X's out there, and any of the green X's, that just means that it's going to have a very low chance of tropical formation over the next couple weeks. Those are my X's. The yellow, orange, and red are National Hurricane Center official X's. So these are official X's that the Hurricane Center is watching. This is a very low, this is near 0% chance of formation. We've been talking about this all week. Not going to turn into anything, but our rain that's coming our way this weekend is actually going to come from this green X right here in the Western Caribbean. This is an inverted trough, or better known as a tropical wave in the meteorology world. Going to continue moving northwest and bring us all that moisture for the weekend to work with some rain. But as we look at the long term, we're still tracking Tropical Storm Erin. Not going to be concerned to us because it's likely going to go near the east coast. So if you have family over there, let them know of that. We're going to continue tracking that wave and the one behind it because they're going to be coming in behind the caboose, and they may be a concern for us as we go into next week. We're going to look at that more next week and more later on Sunrise.
Now to a bizarre case of mail theft. Police say the suspect was caught after showing off on social media. Here's ABC's Lionel Moyes.
This morning, a mail carrier is accused of living a life of luxury off stolen mail. Prosecutors in Los Angeles say 31-year-old Mary Ann McDermott started stealing mail in 2022, taking U.S. Treasury checks and more than 130 credit and debit cards, allegedly activating the stolen cards to buy luxury items and book trips to Turks and Caicos and Aruba. Police say she was caught after posting these photos, posing with cash on Instagram.
You like to steal mail? You like to steal mail? Yeah? You like to steal mail? Huh?
Mail theft, a nationwide problem. Vigilantes were recently seen tackling another suspected mail thief in LA, now under arrest.
You like to steal mail? You like to steal mail?
One growing concern, an increase in checks stolen from mail deposited in outdoor mailboxes. Police say 4 men arrested near Philadelphia were carrying checks stolen from the mail. The amounts and the names changed.
It was never an issue growing up as a kid, never even thought about it. It's interesting, it's a little scary.
Authorities now urging people to hand deliver their mail inside the post office. to guard against crime. But internal mail theft inside the Postal Service surged after the pandemic, with cases up 47%. One official recently quoted saying criminal organizations are recruiting people to get a job in the Postal Service so they can rob mail and drain bank accounts. A government report last year found the Postal Service not doing enough to prevent theft, citing a shortage of supervisors, a lack of training, and unanswered questions about the monitoring of surveillance cameras. The good news? Robberies of mail carriers are down as the post office deploys more high-security collection boxes nationwide. As for the mail carrier who posted those photos on Instagram, she pleaded guilty to a bank fraud charge. She faces up to 30 years in prison. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Tragedy strikes at a steel plant claiming lives. The latest on the ongoing search for survivors. At least 2 people are dead after an explosion at a Pennsylvania steel plant. Local officials say at least 10 more were injured in the blast at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works outside of Pittsburgh. Crews are continuing to search for people who may be trapped in the rubble. A mass casualty incident has been declared to allow for additional emergency resources from across the region to respond. A federal judge has denied the DOJ's request to unseal grand jury materials in Ghislaine Maxwell's case. Supporters of Donald Trump sought more disclosures related to Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, but the judge ruled the government's reasons fell short and said the materials would reveal almost nothing new. Elon Musk is threatening Apple with legal action. He alleges the company is keeping the artificial intelligence app Grok ranked below ChatGPT. Grok is a product of a company called xAI, which Musk owns. Musk wrote on X that Apple has made it impossible for any AI app aside from ChatGPT to reach the top spot. He accused the company of violating antitrust violations. Musk says xAI will take immediate legal action. An Israeli strike in Gaza City Sunday night killed 6 journalists, including 4 from Al Jazeera. The Israeli military said they were targeting reporter Anas al-Sharif, accusing him of leading a Hamas cell. Last month, al-Sharif denied the claim on social media, stating that he is a journalist with no political ties and only aimed to report the truth. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And if you're stuck at your laptop, you can also watch our newscast streaming at crossroadstoday.com. All right, Parker, how's it looking out there?
Well, Carolina, we've got a very pretty sunrise this morning. Look at how pretty it is this morning over Victoria. Look at all the colors, y'all. We've got some pink, yellow, orange, indigo, purple, everything out there this morning. And if you're headed out the door to go maybe see that sunrise, or if you're headed off to early work, 73 is what we're starting out the day for the air temperature, which is also the dew point, bringing us 100% humidity. So maybe apply some hairspray to combat the humidity. Otherwise, no fog to worry about this morning with a mid-level low pressure system sitting on top of us, bringing us some buoyancy in the air. So nothing to worry about for fog. Just worry about the heat today, because we're looking for a high of 98 in Port Lavaca. Maybe some spotty showers possible in the afternoon time, and that's going to go for everybody, including Victoria, 20%, high of 98, maybe even 99, because we were 99 yesterday, and a high of 99, maybe even 100 today in Cuero. So y'all please stay safe in the heat, and if y'all don't hit 100 today, it's very likely that you will either tomorrow or Thursday, with highs rising a little bit further before the rain chances are back to a nice 40% this weekend, and that should keep our temperatures a little bit cooler, maybe in the mid-90s.
I'm ready for some fall feels, and so is my hair. Thank you, Parker.
I think we're 40 days away from fall, so get excited.
All right. Well, thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shannon, Don, McClogan, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great Tuesday.